because he's making headlines. People are melting down. Oh, Triple H, he said nice stuff about Donald Trump, and he talked about he was at the White House, and oh my God, it's that's what's happening in the IWC right now today. And again, it's just because like there's nothing else to sink your teeth into. Like if you're a wrestling fan, you want to talk WWE, whether you're like one of these stinky bums hating on Saturday Night Main Event, and you're like one of these AEW accounts, and you're like, oh, SNME licked balls, which, like, I mean, that's fair if you thought it did. I thought it was like a solid B show, a B. You know, you got to sleep on it, but I think I said B plus the day of, but it's like, okay, a few days ago, it's a B. It was a solid B. And there was a lot missing with no retro aesthetic and no Jesse the Body Ventura as far as like the referees and the commentary is concerned. But speaking of retro aesthetic, man, John Cena, the GOAT, okay, he made the claim at Saturday night that there will be the Last Time Is Now tournament, and whoever wins this tournament will face him in his final matchup in Washington, D.C. for Saturday night's main event again. Yeah, it's a 16-man tournament. It begins 1 week from tonight. Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or even people who don't work here will be involved. Dave Meltzer, of course, made it about AEW, Edge, and Jericho, which is cute. You know, obviously, Cena meant like AAA and TNA, right? Like, all kidding aside. I know we joked about it on the show, and I'm just like, we need Jericho, and we do. We need Jericho in our lives. We need Judas in our minds. We need to break some walls down. We need to tame some lions. We need some Leon in our cortisones. But we need WWE to never, ever be the same again. But obviously he means like AAA or TNA or whatever, right? They don't even work here. Okay, AAA, they own it, whatever. Leave it to Brian and Dave to get triggered by kayfabe. But I'm okay with this because it's fitting of Cena's like hustle, loyalty, respect gimmick that he's done for decades. It makes sense. Am I a little tournamented out in both watching both WWE and AEW every week? Here it makes sense. You know, if it was just a tournament for the sake of a tournament, or it was like, okay, here's 2 3-ways and then 2 3-ways, and then the winners all fight in a 4-way or something, I'd be like, whatever. I'd be pissed. If it was just like some convoluted like the C2, I'd be pissed. But it's just a straight up 16-man winner takes on Cena. I'm here for it, Eric. I think that's very fair. A healthy John Cena. Speaking of Saturday night's main event, we know that CM Punk won the strap. And here is World Heavyweight Champion CM Punk and Undisputed Champion Cody Rhodes backstage after SNME. And Rhodes is putting that title there on.
Strap him up. Look at that, dude. Strap him up.
That'd be cool. The highlight video of Drew McIntyre versus Cody Rhodes on WWE's YouTube channel currently has more dislikes than likes. And I just look at it like people care. It's not like they're doing videos where, you know, WWE is like, here's a tutorial how to do something, and then that thing's not explained at all in the video. So it's getting disliked for that reason, right? These pro wrestling videos are getting disliked because people give a shit. And yeah, people are tired of seeing Drew lose and look kind of stupid doing it. We have to be critical of that when it comes to the Federation. Okay, I know we all like the WWF, and wackos have been getting mad at me, dude. Wackos have been getting mad. They're like, dude, stop with the Jericho shit. Or they're like, dude, Dragunov fucking rules, man. He's the best ever. And it's like, I fucking know, but he can't beat the shit out of everyone every week. Everyone's banged up right now already. Okay, there's an injury list someone posted. I think it might be in the bookmarks here as well, but it's like, goddamn. Now, luckily, in a morbid kind of way, WWE's bloated enough roster-wise where they have depth and it doesn't really, you know, they can make it happen. You got to be critical of like making Drew look fucking dumb again, but ultimately it's leading to Rhodes' heel turn. So once that happens, we'll all be like, oh, feed generations and all this shit. Or no, You know what the kids are saying and shit. I don't know. An Italian brain rot. I can't even name one. But yeah, dude, Rhodes defended the title, and all roads lead to the top. Am I right, fellas? But speaking of the top, you got Jade Cargill here, who won the women's WWE title. You have CM Punk, who won the World Heavyweight title. You got Ricky Saints there, of course, to support his boy Cody Rhodes. And Ricky Saints is the NXT champion. And then your WWE Undisputed champion is Cody Rhodes, of course. These four, what do they all have in common? Well, Saints and Jade trade together under Cody Rhodes. Punk and Rhodes, I mean, they've been friends forever. They go back. They were a tag team in fucking FCW or OVW or whatever the fuck. So, you know, they go way back, and their paths have crossed. I put a Z on there. That's how we say it now. Have crossed multiple times. In AEW, you know, Rhodes got the fuck out of there, gave AEW their best run, and then Punk showed up and then gave them their best run. Both parties, for separate reasons, likely connected to the same people, were sort of pushed out of the company. Not sort of, but I'm going to be kind here. I'm in a good mood today, okay? They were sort of pushed out. Ricky was too. Jade just wanted more for herself. You see crack jobs like fucking BJ Bethel being like, she left for more money. Can't even speak coherent English. This guy's pilled up drinking scotch. This is South Park. These are jokes. I don't know that, but allegedly, right? If I had to guess. I don't know anything, but right? Dude's all fucking boozed up, taking Xanax and typing, oh, she makes less money for her daughter now. Her husband's in the fucking MLB, or he was, or is, right? Like, it doesn't, they're fine. This isn't a money play here, you fucking marks. This is what happened. This is why she left AEW after Tony Khan offered her more fucking money. This isn't about money for her, right? So these four just triggered the internet, shut the internet down. Mercedes Monea was like, AEW's everywhere. And, you know, you just had people, you just saw sickos melting down. AEW made all of these stars. Wrong. Rhodes was already a star. If it wasn't for Rhodes, Bullet Club wouldn't have stayed as relevant as it did for as long as it did. The Bucks wouldn't have gotten their second surge of popularity. I guess we could phrase it that way. Also, AEW was built on the fact that they had access to Jericho, the Bucks, and Omega, sure, but most importantly, Rhodes, who was fucking drawing, you know? So when that group of people showed up, it wasn't just any individual. Rhodes was destined to be a star regardless. He proved that by leaving WWE. The reason he was able to leave WWE, pull off the career he did, was because, yes, he's Cody Rhodes. He's Dusty Rhodes' son. He made a name for himself with multiple different gimmicks that got super fucking over in WWE. Say what you will about Stardust, it got super over, especially with kids. He's talked about it a bunch to this day. Kids come up to him and are like, can you sign my Stardust toy? And he doesn't take offense to it. He got over multiple times. He would have been a star regardless, and he was a star going into AEW, or else there would have been no AEW. At least that was my understanding of things, no? Ricky Saints wasn't made into a star. I'm sorry. He was in AEW. He wasn't. Oh, they featured him. He was tag champion. Okay. He didn't draw huge fucking houses for them. He didn't become household. He didn't become this huge draw. Ricky Saints will be more famous than Ricky Starks when all is said and done because of WWE. That's undeniable. Punk is fucking CM Punk. Punk is fucking CM Punk. Let me say that one more time. What? Punk is fucking CM Punk. The guy who got chanted for a fucking decade. Shows hijacked. Like, this guy had, you know, he could have did his return to TNA, and it might have not did as big of a TV number because not as many people fucking have whatever channel they were like, you know what I mean, though? He has fans outside of just WWE and pro wrestling in general. Everybody knows that. And then Jade wasn't like a household. She's a way bigger star now than she was in AEW. She's working with way bigger names. She's the WWE Women's Champion. She's won Queen of the Ring. People know who the fuck she is. Little kids know her by her action figures and shit now. Nobody knew who the fuck she was, 60-0. Nobody knew who she was in AEW. People might be like, oh, she had that match with Shaq in AEW and Cody Rhodes. That had nothing to do with Tony Khan. That had nothing to do with his creative mind, or AEW made Shaquille O'Neal a star. Is that what you're going to say next? Like, that's celebrity plugs and shit, man. It's just crazy. Like, they're all way bigger stars because of this is all you have to say about all four of the people in this photo. They're all four of them are huge stars or bigger stars because of WWE. Period, point blank. So speaking of Saturday night's main event, we went off on a tangent there, but they had 1.2 million views internationally. You know, you had read acts like AIR Gold and shit being like, dude, that guy got his blue check back and then unblocked a bunch of people. It's like crazy. He blocked everyone when he lost his blue check, and then he bought it back, and then he fucking unblocked everyone. It's weird, dude. Yeah, he's just grifting for real, and he's like, 330,000 people watch it. It's like, man, you guys got to just stop. Worry about AEW. Worry the fuck about AEW. That's what you're going to worry about, you know? We talked about Saturday Night Main Event a little bit. We're going to talk about Triple H, but speaking of stars, Ludwig Kaiser is now dating Andrea Bazzarte. And this exposing the IWC. I don't fucking know. This guy's just dropping hot dating goss. I guess Tiffany Stratton and Ludwig, he calls him Ludwig. Ludwig Kaiser. He calls him Ludwig Kaiser twice. The fuck? Their relationship is over, right? Like, he dumped the one girl. He dumped Tiffy, I guess, or vice versa, and then he started dating this lady here, Mexico. And let's be honest, he's been in Mexico a shitload, and I don't want to speculate on what happened there, but I mean, I digress. So speaking of Mexico, the new AAA mixed tag team champions, Chelsea Green and Ethan Ego Page, they became the AAA mixed tag team champions. Viva la Canada.
You know, this should be a cause for celebration. But the fact of the matter is that Triple H just spit in two of the greatest Canadians' face. Where was my North American Championship in the ring to celebrate after we just became the Triple A Mixed Tag Team Champions, making me a double champion? And oh no, you're about to become double champion too. This Friday, when you become the United States champion and beat Julia. You got any thoughts on becoming the Triple A mixed tag team?
Triple A, eh? Get it right, buds.
Chance, Chelsea.
Called the Triple A, eh?
Numero uno, like we said. Adios.
Hell yeah, they rule together. That should be like a main roster act. Raw and SmackDown main roster act. And what happened during that match or afterwards, La Hydra turns on Mr. Iguana here, breaks up with him, slaps the piss out of his mouth, and then Lola Vice comes to his rescue. And we were saying this, that they need to sort of team Lola and Iguana up together because they're totally gay for each other. And Iguana is happy with this outfit. And then watch, Iguana's like, this is all good, right? Like, oh, I'm so hurt. And then he looks at the camera. Hell yeah. Oh, I'm so hurt. Lower. Hug me lower. I'm hurt lower, Lola. It's like Scary Movie 2. Yeah, so they're linking up. They'll be more of a pairing, which is what everybody totally wants. So WWE quietly, speaking of luchadoras, WWE quietly changes Zelina Vega's name to just Zelina, getting rid of the Vega. And why? Well, she's likely going to be working with Aleister Black, her shoot husband, for the majority of whatever time is left in their careers. And also Zelina Vega. I mean, it is stupid. We can just call her Zelina. Let her do her spooky girl. Like, this is like Scarlet, Karrion Kross and Scarlet. She's not Scarlet Bordeaux. She's Scarlet, Aleister Black, and Zelina instead of like Aleister Black and Zelina Vega. You know, it's just more like, I get why they're doing it. I totally do. It's the Cross Scarlet thing, you know, Black and Zelina. But isn't it fucked that some people have picked up on this after I said it? I was like, dude, they're just doing what Carrie and Scarlet already did. They threw a fireball at someone already and shit. So, and I mean, that's been done a billion times, but they are totally, that's why WWE was willing to just let them go, because they were like, we could just have these two do what the fuck we were, you know. So Zelina from now on is her name. WWE NXT stars Lucian Price and Bronco Nima, Out the Mud, OTM, have now had 2 matches on main event in the space of a month working against the War Raiders and Alpha Academy. So weren't these guys fucking released and then they were just brought back? So they're released, I believe, they're brought back, and then they fucking show up on NXT, and then they're having main event matches. So maybe on the main roster soon. I don't know, but they're pretty goddamn good. But they got broken up with Jada Parker, and they just sort of lost some of that momentum they had a little bit. But I think maybe there was an injury in there. They might have not been released. It might have just been like an injury, and I'm just a dummy. But I swear, didn't they get released with like that pack of other folks? I'm not sure. Like 2 releases ago, 2 cuts ago, I thought. One was injured. Chat say, okay, so that makes sense. Thank you for that. Thanks for the correction. So Lillian Garcia announces an engagement after nearly 4 years single. So good for her. Congrats to the GOAT, Lillian Garcia, and just signed a new deal with WWE. Speaking of luchadores and luchadoras, para los fieles en esta vida y la próxima. Feliz Dia de los Muertos. So the San Diego Padres, just fucking so many people want to kill me in chat, I'm sure, for butchering that. But the San Diego Padres dropped this here with Dominic Mysterio. Latin love. Damn, dude, this is all like emotional and fucking sincere and shit. Go Padres, I guess. Any Padres fans in chat? So in tragic news, Charles Robinson's nephew was tragically killed in a bike accident, man. And best wishes, energies, and prayers from the PWT universe to Charles Robinson and his family at this time, most definitely. So per Fightful, Triple H is not backstage tonight at WWE Saturday night's main event. And, Dave Meltzer's probably patting himself on the back going, I told you, Brian. WWE legend Tatanka says Triple H saw his sons and immediately got them a spot at the Performance Center. So he says, about 3 months ago, I went to SNME. Triple H sees both of my boys. He says they've got to get in the Performance Center now. Triple H didn't walk any further than about 5 feet away. My phone started blowing up, all the executives in WWE. So obviously Tatanka's hyping his boys up as well. But shout them out. I'm all about that. They have a great look as well. And then Tatanka pitched, I know we should work with the Bloodline and shit. It's like, I bet. I bet you'd like that. So speaking of Triple H, man, he made an appearance at this All-In Summit, and Tony Khan took offense to it. No, but he talked a bit about the creative process or just what they focus on when they're writing their pro wrestling shows, and none of it had to do with AI, surprisingly.
And people within our business sometimes take this wrong, but we don't write the shows based on that'll be a great match. We write it on the stories that we can create. The protagonist, the antagonist, how does that work with each other? Telling stories that can resonate with people that maybe they've experienced in their real life, some type of fantastical version of that.
So is there a writer's room?
There is a writer's room. We have a large staff
That's
of,
awesome.
Yeah, there's a show right now on Netflix.
Stranger Things. I am the game. And so Triple H says many people in the White House staff are huge WWE fans, and he says he's been at the White House a bunch and doing political shit and
Leadership, right? So even when it comes to politics, it's amazing to me when I walk through the White House. Over the last few months, I've been there quite a few times. How many people in the White House are huge fans of WWE?
I mentioned this to you back.
Yeah, WWE's hot again, and I mean he'll say that whether that's true or not, but people in WWE firmly believe that both Donald Trump and Vince McMahon, you're hard. You're fired. You're hard. You're fired. You're will be at John Cena's final match next month. And Brian Alvarez says, Brian says, I have had people speculate that both Donald Trump and Vince McMahon are going to be at John Cena's final match. I mean, Vince can be there. He can buy a ticket. There's a way to get him there. I've certainly had people in WWE who firmly believe that Vince and Trump are both going to be at John Cena's last match. So that's a little trying Brian there. Who knows if that's going to be true? The rumors is that Trump will be there. I don't know about Vince, but that might be the way to do it. If you're going to have Vince there and it's for Cena's final match. I mean, if he's sitting in the crowd, he hasn't been arrested or any type of shit. I don't know, man, or any type of shit. Get it? Yeah, I get it. This is all I'm saying is that, he's been in lots of shit. Pun intended. Am I going to be offended if he's sitting there to watch Cena's last match and Cena wants him there and shit? No, I personally will not be. If other people are, that's up to them. But do I care if Vince is there? If he's there or not? Am I like, oh, he better be there? I don't care. If the president is there, is that kind of cooler? Yeah, but you don't want it to overshadow Cena either. So, to me, I don't give a fuck. It makes no difference to me. I don't really care either way, personally. I mean, sure, it would be. If that's what Cena wants, then give that to Cena. If he wants them there, then have them there. Speaking of being there, though, I'll be there. So, Friday Night SmackDown this Friday. It is set up for 6K. The tickets distributed are 5K. This building they're pulling an AEW, I believe. Yeah, there's 14,000, almost 14,300 seats. This week's SmackDown drew its lowest attendance in almost 4 years with only 4.2K fans in the arena. This Raw as well is looking a little, a little thin on that other side there, on the hard cam side. Now, here's the thing. Is it doom and gloom for WWE? No. It's shitty. They should figure it the fuck out. They should definitely lower prices. Supply and demand. Here's the thing. Supply and demand doesn't just mean people are buying them. It also means when the demand isn't there because of the price, it incentivizes WWE, or it encourages WWE to then lower prices to incentivize people to spend money on their products some more, right? So they'll obviously fix this. This has happened a billion times in the business. However, if they start to lower prices and they can't sell and they're doing half buildings, then there you go. Then I would be worried about that. You guys already know. I call out the notion of these wrestling companies being we set up for this many and it's a sellout based on our setup, right? Dave tries to say that Dynamite sells out when they do 1,200 people in a fucking place. Because, their setup, Brian, was for 1,100 and they fucking, whatever. But carnies are going to carny. So it is what it is. But if this keeps happening, and it is the holiday season, inflation is through the fucking roof. People might be like, oh, shit, I need to save my shekels for Hanukkah. I need my shekels for Hanukkah. No, you need your shekels for Christmas gifts and all that stuff over the holiday season. That could totally be it. Or a factor, and these are just priced through the roof. It could be that the shows are repetitive and boring, though, a lot of the time. SmackDowns have been fucking lackluster a lot of the weeks in a row here. They try, and I don't know if we should put it all on Road Dogg or whatever, but some people would argue that Raws haven't been hitting either. I think Raws overall have been pretty good lately. And that, of course, it's ebbs and flows. That changes as well. But yeah, if they continue to pull AEWs, like if this is a gradual, here's why I'm not too alarmed by this, because it just sort of happened all of a sudden where, not all of their buildings are full. All of a sudden, like November, December, it's looking like, shit isn't packed or whatever. Some people are saying this is wrong and they sold like 7,000 tickets when all's said and done. I mean, either way, it doesn't change the fact that this Friday, they're going to be in South Carolina and they're in a 14,000 seater with 6,000 tickets sold, right? Like that's pulling a dynamite. So we are going to keep our eye on this. And yeah, I think them boosting the prices the way they did and then just completely cutting off live events as drastically as they did. They didn't, that's being exaggerative. Like they didn't literally cut them all off, but I mean, dude, they drastically cut off live events in a lot of markets where they almost could have gouged in those markets and still went to these places. They could have gouged price wise, and maybe that would have maybe prolonged this from happening, but this was inevitably going to happen with how the prices are in WWE. You just had to know this is coming, but it just sort of happened out of nowhere. And so we'll see if it gradually gets worse or it stays like this. Okay, it's a problem. It just sort of out of nowhere, they're like, 12K, 6K, 11K, 10K. I say it every show. And then fucking out of nowhere, it's like, okay, they're doing half empty buildings and shit for a few of these shows, not all of them, right? Yeah, so we're keeping our eye on it, but I'm not sitting here like it's not doom and gloom. This wasn't like a gradual, and like it's the crowd's popping going, holy shit right now. Like Dom and Rey Mysterio, Rey's back. That'll put asses in seats. So again, we'll keep an eye on it going into the new year. I think will be really telling. But SmackDown January 2, they have 3,000 tickets sold. They're set up for 7,000. And the number of seats on map are 15,000. So they're filling it up half again type shit. Like they're set up for half. I mean, this could end up in January selling the 15,000. It doesn't mean they can't open it up to more. Of course, this is in a little while here. But again, if I do feel like only selling 3,000 tickets and being set up for 7,000, if this was like 6 months ago, a year ago, that bitch would have been sold out. Let's see. Yeah, their last show there did 11,000 people. Right? So if this was like 6 months ago, I think this shit would have sold out no problem. So just keeping our eyes on it. The cheapest ticket's $72 though. I mean, imagine you and you want to take like your 2 kids, or you, your wife, and your 2 kids or something, or like you and your buddy and whatever the fuck. $72.80 for pro wrestling. I mean, maybe that's not so bad for a SmackDown because it's a television show, but it's still steep. Like wrestling shows they should be what people will pay for them. Again, supply and demand, but hopefully we see it start to bounce back and maybe the price is lower a little bit, then people are incentivized to travel and buy tickets to shows, etc. again. And that, ladies and gentlemen, was WWE news. Let's tune back in.